Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey guys, we're reading from A Day at a Time, June 8th, Reflection for the Day. A friend in the program taught me to look at excessive guilt in an entirely new way, suggesting that guilt was nothing but a sort of reverse pride. A decent regret for what has happened is fine, he said, but guilt, no. I've since learned that condemning ourselves for mistakes we've made is just as bad as condemning others for theirs. We're not really equipped to make judgments, not even of ourselves. Do I still sometimes beat myself to death when I appear to be failing? Today I pray. May I be wary of keeping my guilty role alive long after I should have left it behind. May I know the difference between regret and guilt. May I recognize that long-term guilt may imply an exaggerated idea of my own importance as well as present self-righteousness. May my higher power alone be my judge. Today I will remember guilt may be pride in reverse. Yeah, and there is a proper place for guilt. Guilt is the natural response of when we do something wrong that we need to make right. And that's okay. It serves a purpose. It helps us to live rightly and to repair relationships. And that's okay, but it's what they say here in the bottom paragraph, this long-term guilt. This long-term guilt where we're not letting it go, where it becomes bondage. We're not in freedom. And I have a spiritual mentor who was lovingly making fun of me where she's like, the debt's been paid, Nora. She's like, it's like you got a ticket and you paid it, but then you keep taking it back to the judge. Like telling him no, I didn't take care of this. And he's like, yes, you did. And you're like, no, I didn't. and there's nothing the judge can do because the debt's been paid. It's done. But there's something within me that can't let go of it. And that in all loving kindness is my pride. It's this scandalized disbelief that I did this thing, that I did wrong. And then this fear that I'm going to do it again if I don't beat myself up. This wrong idea that I have to make myself feel more pain or else I'm going to make the same mistake. I don't know how many of you can relate to that, but that comes up a lot in my life. That is a big personality defect. That is a big default of mine that I go back to that. And something that I thought of the other day was just the gentleness of who I'm coming to understand my higher power to be. And in stories that I learned about him since childhood and stuff. And one in particular where someone did something, obviously horribly wrong. And all he did was lift her head and say, I don't condemn you. And it just, you can hear the same story 1,000 times and you're like, And for whatever reason, by the grace of God, I heard this one and I was like, oh, that's so gentle. And it doesn't make sense to me. Why? But he trusts her and she doesn't do it again because for the first time she's met with love. And when you're met with love, you don't want to do those things that you were doing that cause pain. When you're met with love, you want to walk in love. You want to keep those relationships. You want to protect them. You want to honor yourself. And so it's counterintuitive for so many of us, because I think it was counterintuitive. Our parents didn't know another way, or whatever. The people who formed us, they didn't know another way because they were taught the same way. But there's something so counterintuitive about approaching ourselves with gentleness and love, not seeing what we did, but understanding the pain and the motive behind it. And then telling ourselves, like, I don't condemn you, with this implicit belief that I want more for you. And all of a sudden, I think it's just a spiritual thing. We stand straighter and we're like, oh my gosh, I want more for me too. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.